When it comes to being a successful podcaster, I've heard a lot of tips. I've heard a lot of hacks. I've heard a lot of, let's say, skill sets. But in today's conversation, I want to really give you the A to Z when it comes to being very successful for a long time, not just for 1 year, for 5 years, but for 10, 20, or 30 years. Okay. So here are my opening arguments. If you want to be a successful podcaster, everything goes back to the fact that you got to think about the money part of your podcasting machine. In other words, how do you generate revenue? How do you sustain your business? How do you pay your staff? How do you do research? How do you pay for software? How do you pay for podcast equipment? How do you pay for gear? Without money, you're not going to go very far. You can't be a successful podcaster who is constantly broke. A broke podcaster is not successful, and vice versa. Okay, so the big question is, if you want to think about the money part of being a successful podcaster, you got to first ask yourself, can you really make money podcasting? The answer is yes. The answer is definitely yes. You have a lot of folks who are making millions. I mean, think about Joe Rogan. Think about Tucker Carlson. Think about the biggies of the industry. They're making tons of cash. Okay, so you can make money podcasting, but you got to really think about how you go about doing it. Okay, you want to really understand that when it comes to making money as a podcaster, you have to first understand what your audience wants, and you have to think about how to add value to your audience. Because if you are able to expand your audience, you are going to attract advertisers. I want you to really think about it that way. You first got to really take care of your audience, and then they'll take care of you. They'll take care of you by expanding your exposure. And when your exposure is expanded, you are going to attract advertisers. You're going to attract brand deals. You are going to get into those mega deals, multi-million dollar deals. Okay, and you are also able to make money with ads and sponsorships during the show. So those are pre-rolls, mid-rolls, and post-rolls if you want. Okay, and when you start a podcast, if you want to be a successful podcaster, you have to think about monetization right off the bat. Don't think, oh, I need to really reach a certain follower base before I start thinking about making money. No, if you have one follower, if you have 10 followers, if you have 10 listeners, if you have 15 listeners, you can start thinking about monetization in the sense that you are able to kick off the money machine right off the bat. Think about affiliate marketing, for instance. When you have 10 followers or 10 listeners, you don't want to think about advertising or brand deals. You want to think about affiliate marketing because even one link that converts, that's a lot of cash for you. So if you want to be a successful podcaster this year, let me give you a few top hacks you need to really pay attention to. The first thing you want to do is to think about donations. Don't think about actually begging for money. You're not begging for money. If you really add value, if you add serious value to your listeners, they are going to help you out. People are very generous by nature. Listeners are very generous, but they are very smart too. They see the hard work you're putting in. They see the hard work you are doing. They see how you bust your ass, and if they can help you, they will help you. Okay, but don't just ask for money actually without actually doing the work. Don't ask for a free lunch. You want to ask for a lunch after you have done the work. Okay, it's like asking for a tip really. So you have platforms such as Patreon or PayPal helping you, among others, by the way, helping you actually collect donations. You can also offer paid membership tiers. That's kind of cool. If you're trying to really be a successful podcaster this year, think about paid membership tiers. Now, the cool thing about paid membership tiers is that you are able to stabilize your revenue base. You're able to have consistent revenue. You're able to actually rely on some kind of cash to really further improve, to further expand your podcast. Okay. And when it comes to podcast memberships, you can have tiers. You can have tier one, tier two, and tier three. So tier one will be I'll just call it like the lower level. Okay, tier two will be the mid level, and tier three will be the most expensive one. Whatever works for your audience, you can adapt this to your audience and make sure that they see value in your membership. Okay, ensure your membership is worthwhile. Please, you may find that a lot of listeners will support you out of goodwill and because they believe in the future of your podcast. But you can't necessarily rely on that. Okay. Since you are asking your listeners to commit to a regular payment, make sure they feel like they are getting a good deal. It's all about, again, putting yourself in your listeners' shoes and see how you would love to be treated if this were you. But before I want you also think about creating bonus or premium content for subscribers. That way, you're able to differentiate subscribers from the regular listeners. If you want to be a successful podcaster this year, you have to really understand that part of the monetization strategy has to go back to sponsorships or advertising. I love personally sponsorships because with ads you never know. You have the ups and downs. When you choose platforms such as YouTube or Apple Podcast or Spotify, for instance, you can't really rely on those ads. Sometimes the RPMs goes up or the IPMs go down, depending on the economy, right? But when you have sponsorship deals, you are having a stable avenue for revenue. Why? Because those deals are negotiated, let's say, long before they actually take place. I mean, if you have the right relationship with a brand, you can negotiate a 5 year deal with a brand or a 10 year deal with a brand if your follower base is strong enough. So that's kind of cool. So if you want to be a successful podcaster, think about sponsorship deals. Okay, think about how to really make sure you are leveraging your platform, you're leveraging your podcast to cultivate deeper relationships with the industry. Now, you can also think about, let's say, podcast ads. When it comes to podcast advertising, you actually have two types. You have pre-recorded ads. That's what you see: pre-rolls, mid-roll, and post-roll. Those are pre-recorded ads. But you also have the host promoting the product. So you, as a podcast host, you can actually do it in a very native way. Okay, you can promote the product, and but make sure that you are able to do so in a very natural way, in a very conversational way. But of course, you still need to tell the audience that you are promoting a product. You also want to join an advertising network. This is also very good for you in terms of expanding your revenue base. Okay, you have a lot of advertising networks. For instance, you have Midroll, you have Castos. For instance, you have Riverside. Those can help you, and also you can sell repurposed content. So if you have put time and energy into creating a valuable and insightful podcast, make sure you get your money's worth out of it. Try transcribing your podcast super easy with the right software to repurpose your episodes. So once you have got your podcast transcription, you can edit it into an article form and try pitching it to popular publications that focus on your particular niche. So that's really good. You also want to syndicate your show to YouTube. If you're trying to be a successful podcaster, YouTube is quintessential in your journey. Okay, think about it. YouTube has about 2 to 3 billion folks every single month who are researching about all kinds of topics. So you can't really ignore that kind of traffic. Okay. And the cool thing is that when you syndicate your podcast to YouTube, it means that you are repurposing your show by publishing it as a video to YouTube. Although with the right software, a video podcast is very easy. You're not able to record a video, okay? But just remember that with YouTube, you have to really first monetize your channel, and there are ways to monetize the channel on YouTube. But in general, you got to really reach 4,000 hours of watch time and also 1,000 subscribers. That's there are other ways through the YouTube short program, but I just want to really tell you the one for long form programs because podcasts are generally not short form videos. That's why. So if you are having a podcast, think about the 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. Once you are able to get to that level, and if you are monetized, you can reach advertising revenue. You can make money through a channel membership. You can sell your merch, and you can also have access to a YouTube premium revenue. Also, you want to sell merchandise. So basically, if you want to be a successful podcaster, think about selling merchandise, okay? So if you've got a recognizable logo or a podcast artwork, you can constantly or instantly produce everything from t-shirts to coffee mugs. So the best thing about branded podcast merch is that it works twice. First off, the sale of the physical product is an additional income stream. And second, it's an extremely effective way to market your podcast for free. Every time one of your listeners wears the branded T-shirt, they are passively promoting your podcast. That's kind of cool. And also think about public speaking. So once you've been podcasting for a while and have established yourself as a prominent figure within your area of interest, the good thing is you'll be able to start charging for public speaking appearances, okay? Because you already got the crowd, you already got the audience, you got the follower, okay, and you got the knowledge too. So it's about time to start monetizing that that trio, if you will, that trifecta. If you want to be a successful podcaster this year, you also want to think about digital products. Okay, so I'm speaking here about having creating a paid e-course, for instance. Okay, now if your podcast is informative or educational in some way, an e-course is the perfect way for you to monetize your content. Creating an e-course doesn't need to require too much investment. Your e-course can simply synthesize the content you share on your podcast with a couple of additional tips, tricks, and practical advice. Remember, it has to be practical. Okay, don't really waste your listeners' time by babbling over and over and over. You want to be very practical. And you also can sell content upgrades. So content upgrades such as a downloadable crib sheets or exclusive resource or a quick and easy way to make some money from your podcast. The content upgrade should relate to the content of your episode and complement your listeners' experience, okay? So that's kind of cool. For example, if your podcast episodes were about how to stop procrastinating, you could offer an actionable plan of action or checklist to help your listener implement your advice. Also, think about events and conferences. So, those are a great way to connect with your audience, monetize your podcast, and bring your community together. So, for obvious reasons, this is a more ambitious and larger scale way of making money from your podcast. This is more suitable for established podcasts with the capacity to organize a big event. So if that's you, then you can really think about that. Also, another way to be a successful podcaster this year is to sell consulting or coaching services. So once you have made your name in podcasting and you've shown you know what it takes, you can start offering your services to other podcasters as a podcasting consultant or coach. This works big time, okay? This will involve, for instance, advising other podcasters on how to effectively grow, market, and monetize their own podcast. Okay, and so this is kind of cool, especially if you are invested in the future of the podcasting profession as a whole. So that's kind of cool. So let me give you a few monetization tips here. If you want to be a successful podcaster, you have to understand that you want to record a high production value podcast. Okay, I'm not asking you to spend millions of dollars in equipment and gear, but you want to really increase the quality a little bit, and you don't have to spend lots of money. Okay, one thing for sure, people have to see that you are investing in your podcast, that you are really increasing the value, you're increasing the quality. If you want to make money from your podcast, attract lucrative partnerships, and capitalize on your brand, you need to be recording a professional standard podcast. Your listeners and potential sponsors are more likely to commit to and support your podcast if it lives up to expectations. There is nothing worse than subpar audio or even say lackluster editing cramping your style. Next, you want to build a community. A community is going to support you big time, especially if you're thinking about scaling. Okay. So think about actually building communities. Before you even begin to think about monetizing your podcast, you need to think about your audience and community. They are a podcaster's most valuable assets. So it's not just a numbers game, like I told you before. It's important to build out a big audience base, but what's even more important is cultivating a sense of community and personal relationship. So if you nurture a listeners community that supports you and your podcast, the likelihood is that your audience will respond positively to the adverts, affiliate links, and sponsorships that you include in your show. Plus, if you've got a super captivated audience, you'll be able to charge more to advertise with you. Also, think about what kind of monetization will work for you and your audience. It's always important to think about your audience. So, what works for one podcast may not work at all for another. You got to know your audience and your podcast to know how to make money effectively. So, depending on how you pitch yourself, what kind of listeners you attract, and what purpose your podcast is serving, different methods of monetization will be more appropriate. Also, be open to diversifying your brand. This is going to help you actually going to help you big time without like help you not put all your eggs in the same basket. And also strike a balance and don't afraid to say no. You can't say yes to everything, okay? Some things are not right for if some things are not right for your audience, don't do it. Don't do them, okay? It's all about making sure that you take care of your audience. If you take care of your audience, if you nurture your audience, they will nurture you back. They will take care of you. Believe me. So, what are the extras here? If you think about being a successful podcaster, you have to also explore the possibility of affiliate marketing. Because affiliate marketing, I think I've said this before, doesn't require you to have 1 million listeners. If you have 10 listeners or 100 listeners, you can still make money through affiliate marketing. Okay. You are able to find affiliate sponsors very, very easy way. You have a lot of networks like Awin, Amazon Associates, among others, that can really help you. So you don't always need to secure a partnership deal to start advertising affiliate products on your podcast. Believe me, okay. And so you can use affiliate sponsors also to monetize the podcast. You can promote your affiliate links through other ways. You can have shout outs on social media. You can have shout outs during blog articles. Okay. You can do the shout out during the podcast itself. And one thing I want to say here is that how much you're making really depends on the type of audience you have, the types of cloud you have, and the types of content you have. Okay. I mean, for instance, if you have a Joe Rogan of the Joe Rogan Experience, earns about 30 to 35 million dollars annually. That's really fantastic. I mean, Joe Rogan is a really, really one of the best in the industry. You have Dave Ramsey also from the Dave Ramsey Show. They actually earn about 10 to 15. Earns 10 to 15 million dollars, and then you also have Karen Kilgariff and George Hartstack of My Favorite Murder. They earn about 15 to 20 million dollars annually. So you can see that being a podcaster can be really profitable, right? But the thing is how you actually structure yourself. It's how you structure your podcast. Okay. Now, how many downloads do you need to start monetizing your podcast? It really depends. But one thing for sure, it helps to have a bigger audience, or at the very least, a smaller but very dedicated listenership. So that being said, there are ways for a smaller, lesser known podcast to start making money. For instance, through affiliate marketing, through brand deals, but also through a sponsored podcast. Okay. And you are able to get things done properly. And you want to really see how to make money through the platform where you are at. If your podcast is hosted on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcast or Costos or Riverside, among others, or even Google Podcasts, you want to see how to really leverage what the podcast has to offer. In closing arguments into this conversation, I spoke to you about how to be a successful podcaster, I give you opening arguments, the top hacks, the monetization tips, and the extras. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.